Blog Talk Radio.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walk in His ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Walking His Ways, Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcast again live from my hometown of the city of Mobile, Alabama, of course. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Every day is a great morning when the Most High open up our eyes to see another day of life, another day of redemption, another day of mastering life, another day of representing possibilities on every walk of life. And just be thankful in all things. We give thanks, of course, for everything that's going on in our lives. A lot of things that we can change in our lives, I believe in that. A lot of things we get better in. And that was one of my top things for 2020 was to get better in things in life myself. Like I said, reading books more. The book I'm reading now is The Laws of Human Nature. I purchased another book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I'm working on being a dangerous man this year, not just for this year, but beyond the years of as getting better as a man, a young man, of course, mastering the thing of life. And I'm very excited about my guest that's gonna be on the airwaves with me this morning. We're gonna chop it up this morning, of course. A lady I came in contact with via Facebook. I had put the post out about booking interviews. She responds. She explained to me who she was, and I'm excited for her being on the broadcast with me this morning, of course. And I just want to tell the listening audience before we get into the interview this morning, it's all about representing possibilities. It's all about representing ideas. It's all about creating the life that you want to live. I believe in that we can create the type of life we want to live. We can't do that. If you go back in the beginning of Genesis, the Bible lets us know that God created the heavens and earth. He created everything, and He made us in His image, and He made us in His likeness. So we are created beings as well. So we create things in our mind. We create things with our words. Don't just allow your past to determine your future. Whatever happens in your past, you can change that. Whatever happened in the past, let it stay in the past. Just correct your present. Once you correct your present, the future will take care of itself. For so long, we've been programmed to say, I'm looking forward to the future. But we're doing the same thing currently in our past that will affect our future because we're still doing the same old thing. We're still thinking the same way. We're still putting things in our bodies that shouldn't be in our bodies. We're still listening to things that should not be in our subconscious mind. We're still entertaining things that influence us to do wrong things. And I'm looking forward to the future. But what is you doing now to affect your future? So in order for your future to be bright, fix your present. That's all you have to do. But that's enough on now. I'm about to get to put my guest in this morning. And I just want to thank her for being on Impact Voice. Miss Richardson, welcome to Walking His Ways, Impact Voice.
Good morning, and thank you for the invite on this blessed Saturday morning. How are you today?
I'm doing good, and once again, I thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to be a part of the broadcast this morning. That means a lot to me because you didn't have to, but by you wanting to, that really means a lot to me because I know you're a busy woman, and I just thank you once again. I'm very humble for you taking time out to be a part of the broadcast this morning.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. And we're about to get chop it up in this interview. And the purpose of Impact Voice is all about impacting our generation, bringing in people who's positive, to influence everybody in the right way. Because we've been seeing people being influenced the wrong way. But we want to see people be influenced in the right way. So my first question is, who is Samantha Richardson?
Well, Samantha Richardson is a council representative for the city of Prichard District 4. I'm also a mother of two and also a minister of the gospel as well.
Awesome. And like I said, you got to work cut out where you said the ministry, minister of the gospel. We know the gospel is the good news, and we know we need that good news, because that's the first thing of recovery is our spirituality, making Christ the Lord and Savior of our lives, and mastering that walk of life. You know, I love what Matthew 6:33 lets us know that we seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. Everything else will be added unto us, and that's the very first, very important foundation we got to have in our lives.
Right. Right.
And my next, yes, ma'am. And my next question
And also,
is you from the city? Go ahead.
I just wanted to add, a lot of times people say that, you shouldn't mix ministry with politics or religion or whatever with politics, but I'm a firm believer that it needs to be righteous people in these positions as well. So if I would have listened to what people say or statistics was telling me, I don't think that I would be where I am, but it's because I had a passion. I wanted to see change, and I prayed about it, and I definitely, went forward to do what I felt like I needed to do to better my community.
And I'm glad that we went to a whole nother level now, and I'm glad you had brought that up because when it comes to the religious world, Christianity, of course, we put God in the box. We limit Him to a particular day. We would take Him that he just gonna do work within the four walls, but it go past the four walls. You have looked through the history of the Bible. Look at David. David was king of Israel. You had Solomon. You had many great men that God used to influence the community.
Right.
Why is that? Why is it that to the point where you would just limit God to the four walls?
That's right. And, I have a motto, too. If God can't go, I can't go either. So if God is not welcome there, it's not a place for me. So I take God everywhere I go. I pray even with the decisions that I have to make concerning my, in my position with my family, with my kids. It's just good to have that relationship with God as well to lead and guide because I couldn't do it by myself. And I'm just thankful, for even having this platform to be able to speak to you and also reach, others that may be listening, because they need to know, and everybody needs to know that if you set forth a task or a dream, you can accomplish it, regardless of what people say. Here it is, I'm a young black female, that's actually serving as a representative for a city. So, it started out as a desire to want to see a difference, and, I just went forward with it, putting God first, of course.
And that's important to have to keep Him first. The Bible lets us know if He be lifted up, He'll draw all men unto Him. And I know Jesus said that we are the light of the world, and when He said light, we represent a different lifestyle compared to the world. Even though we're in the world, we're not of the world, so we have to show something different. And I'm glad that you have been a willing vessel, to make an impact in the arena that He had called you into. I know that you're a representative of the city of Prichard. So are you a Prichard native?
I am. I was actually born and raised in the city of Prichard as well as born and raised in District 4. I may have lived on different streets in District 4, but I've definitely been born and raised in District 4, and that's why I have a personal passion for not only the district but the city as well, because the city of Prichard, we are the city of champions, and the city has some wonderful citizens that has pretty much raised their kids, their grandkids, and it's just a caring city. And, a lot of times that's what the outside don't see, but there's a special love for the city, not with just me, but, with the citizens as well.
Yeah, and I know some people that are from Prichard. They speak very highly of Prichard, though they grew up
Yes.
in the city. And I know a lot of times city has been broadcast as being a negative area. You know, negative contained with
Right.
crime, things of that nature. Um, but you hear stuff, and then also you got a lot of good people in Prichard. And I used to know. Well, I was born in the '80s, and I know
Mhm.
but long before I was born, they said Prichard was a very beautiful city, had a lot of
Yes.
things within the city, of course, that nature. So, are the original plans are to bring all that back to the city of Prichard how it used to be? Because I know it takes a lot of work to bring it back to where it used to be.
That's definitely a plan in the near future that we're definitely setting the platform now to bring those businesses back. We've actually had a lot of businesses that are actually coming back. You know, entrepreneurs are now catching on to the plans and they're coming back. So I definitely see that the city is moving in a good direction. And if there's anybody out there that would like to come to the city of Pritchard to open a business, we welcome each of you because there was a time when we had everything in the city of Pritchard that we needed as far as there was a J.C. Penney's, there was a Woolworth, and I think now is the perfect time for, entrepreneurs to just come to the city, find you a building, and just, if any renovating or whatever, do what you need to do. But I definitely think that if we come together with that, that will be a perfect way to, put Pritchard back on the map because as council and also administration, we're definitely working hard to see that vision come to pass.
And that's what it's all about. Put it in the work. That remind me of Nehemiah. Nehemiah wanted to go back and to rebuild, know what happened in Jerusalem, and that's what is going on. It takes that determination to go back and rebuild the wall that was torn down and to repair it.
Right, right.
And my next question is, how was it growing up in your household? Do you come from a close knit family? Growing up.
Yes, my family was very closely knitted. My parents were married like 36 years until my father's death. My father was actually murdered back in November of 2011 in his place of business that is located in District 4. So, as that happened, it kind of gave me another vision and kind of took me higher, even with me wanting to do more in my community. So that was one of the sparks that kind of fueled my energy and also my position where I am now to become a city representative. But my family was very closely knitted, and I had friends that wasn't as privileged as I was to grow up in a two-parent home. So even in that, I definitely understand the trials that, even kids went through that didn't have, those two-parent homes. So I kind of understood the problem that is always kind of common in our community. So,
And it's just like it get worse by the day. Back then, the two parent home. Then y'all know we had children who grew up in single parent home, but they were more disciplined. They were more on track. They knew that if they did something, the whole neighborhood, the people in the neighborhood gonna whoop them. Then they gonna tell the mom about it. Then the mama gonna whoop them. And we don't have that stuff no more. And
all right.
and the rate of marriages nowadays don't even last long. 36 years, that's a long time, compared to today.
Yes,
Like people that get married today,
yes,
it's only for 6 months. And before you know it, 6 months later, they're going to get married again to somebody else. And it's
right.
just so
Well,
crazy. It's so crazy.
Mr. Jackson, back then when we were young, around our age, it was the village that pretty much took care of the kids, that looked out for each other. And, my question today is, where's the village? We're living in a community now where, nobody want to speak up or, is scared to say something to somebody else's kids. And, we really have to get out of that mind frame because if we see our neighbors' kids doing something that they shouldn't be, it should be okay to say something to them, especially if it's something that may cause harm or something. But, we're living in a time where it's just some people just really don't want to say anything because they're scared of what the parents may say or even a repercussion of the kids. So, we just need to go back to that old foundation because that's the foundation that brought us where we are now. And, it took the village to raise the kids because, like you said earlier, we are living in a time where we're a lot of kids live in single-parent homes or, maybe going through a divorce or whatever the problem may be. So it definitely takes that village to raise our kids, and hopefully one day, we can get back toward that, the raising of the kids with the village, because the village has a voice, and that's the voice that need to be heard that, will help us to go where we need to be as far as our community and, raising our kids.
And I agree with you. And I agree with you 100% because we have got away from that. We got away from it. Become more selfish. It's all about me, myself, and I. We got children raising themselves now. We got men being incarcerated, which I'm a correction officer for the jail here in Mobile. So it's predominantly black males, looking at life in prison. So what that does, that leads to women by themselves, fending for themselves when the male is locked away for the rest of his life.
Right.
I mean, we have to break that cycle. So now we got young men and women who's out in the streets raising themselves. Like you said, I like what you said, the village. And take the necessary steps to bring that village back. And it's take a unit of us. And that's my next question. How did you? I know you said you said earlier about your desire, but did you always want to be in politics when you was growing up as a child?
Well, I wouldn't say politics, but I've always been one to want to make a difference. And I think that sparked my zeal for politics because I know that being in the position that I am in, I definitely have a chance to make a difference, because the council representative is the one that helps create the laws for the city. So if there's anything that may need, working on as a council, we have the authority to create rules or laws to govern our city. So that was one spark that I had, to spark the zeal that I have. And not only that, just also seeing and building a relationship with the citizens. They had needs and things that they wanted to see in their community. And I felt like, that I would be the perfect one to help those things come to pass. But as far as saying that I just, had this passion when I was 4 or 5 or even a teenager to be a politician, no. But I always had that that zeal to want to make a difference. And that is why I am where I am, because I wanted to make a difference. And, I hate to kind of label myself as a politician because sometimes, people hear the word politician and they don't always have the best idea what a politician is. So I just say that I'm a person that cares, a person that's, compassionate about what I do, and just so happen I'm a council person, a council representative for the city.
And that's another thing that the citizens they put all the work on y'all. Like they when I say all the work, they want you to do everything for them, and they just sit with their hands out. But it takes more than just having the hand out. But they have to do their part also, and people don't understand that. They feel like that's your job to do all that. We don't do anything. You take care of all that. So what can you say to a person who has the mentality that they put all they trust in you, but they want you to do the work for them? What can you say to a person like that who may not understand how that works?
Right. Well, I always make myself available. If there's any problems or issues that a citizen may have, most of the citizens in District 4 and throughout the city know that I'm only a phone call away. Most of the time we discuss their problem or their issue, and I just refer it to the right person. And most of the time the citizens just want to feel like someone cares. because they're reaching out for help. They sometimes really don't know the avenues to take. So most of the time I am the closest person that they could get in touch with. So yes, my phone is always ringing, but I try my best to direct, their concern to the right person, to make sure that we're able to help them. Because as I stated, the council representative is the person that creates the laws. Now, when they come to different issues as far as picking up the trash, potholes, or other concerns that they may have throughout the city, now that goes to our mayor, our administration, that falls under day-to-day operations. Now, can they call me and tell me their concern? Yes. But I also have a chain of command or a process that I must go through as well to, get that done. But I just want them to know that, we all, most of the council has a open door policy, and they know that they can contact us. We also have a council secretary that's there Monday through Friday. Most of the citizens have our direct number that they use often, so there are ways to be heard. A lot of times I think people complain because they really don't know the steps of how to get their concerns heard. And that's the biggest thing, bridging that gap, letting them know that they do have a voice and, they can let their complaints be heard, and there will be a plan of action. They just don't, because I run across a lot of people that, really say, well, there's no use in the past, there's no use, nothing is going to change. And I'm one, I try to correct that frame of mind, because you know what, things will change. Things are going to change, and things are changing, and that's why I make myself available to the citizens, that they can feel like they have a voice. So with those things, we're able to tackle a lot of the problems and issues throughout our city.
And I'm glad you got the mindset and mentality to help others to improve within the areas. And a lot of them have to know that. A lot of them have to realize, hey, I have to get in and help. I'm bringing this before you, but also help do my part as well. And if we work together, that takes a big burden off just one person to be able to fix everything.
And Mr. Jackson, I always tell them I can't do it alone. If you see something in the community that needs to be done, yes, reach out to me, because regardless of what people say, the city of Prichard is a nice-sized city, and we can't always see all the little problems or the big problems, but, we communicate and reach out to each other, we definitely can get those things done. That's my motto. Hey, thank you for letting me know, because I can't do it alone, and that encourages them to know that they do have a voice, and it's okay to voice your concern. I know I don't want a citizen to never feel like they don't have a voice, because they do. And that is very important, that the citizens know that as well, that they do have a voice, and that they, have someone or people that are working for them that, do their best to make their concerns be heard.
And I agree with you 100%. And it's about, and then going back to that one word, communication. Communication is key.
Yes.
We got to go back to communication. Also, I love the educational part of the broadcast. So those who may not know what a representative is and what District 4 is, explain to the listeners what the representative for District 4 means, to those who may not know.
Okay, well, the representative for District 4, we have actually 5 districts in the city of Prichard. Being a council representative, you are elected in, and it is almost election time. So, there will be an election taking place very soon. But the election is the voice of the citizens, Like I said earlier, we are the lawmakers. We make sure that the city is governed correctly, when it comes to creating laws to support the concerns of the citizens. That's where our laws come in to support that. And it just comes from also building a relationship with the people because that's what they want. They want to know that someone is representing them that don't mind speaking up, that will be a voice for them. And, I tell people to be in this position, you must have, first of all, you must have faith, definitely. You have to have a listening ear. You can't tune one out because, you're not, you don't feel like their concern matters because everyone's concern matters. And most importantly, you have to have a passion for it because, it doesn't come easily, and you deal with different people, inside and out. So you definitely have to have a compassion for the people. You have to be, a good communicator and even sometimes a counselor because there's some people that come to you that may really need help or really have a problem. So you have to have that part of the compassion to, comfort them and just let them know that you're doing all that you can as a council representative because sometimes it goes beyond just creating laws. It comes from you really having to care for the people. And I think we're living in a time now where people just want to know that someone cares. Now, someone get into this just because they want to dictate or just make laws. This profession is not for you, because I don't want anyone to think, oh, they just make laws and that's it. No, you have to have compassion for the people. You have to first hear the voice of the people sometimes before you even hear yourself because that's what stirs the thoughts of the council representative. Well, I'm speaking for me. That's what stirs the thoughts of me knowing that there's a need for the people.
And that's what it's all about. Hearing the people, listen to one another. Like the Bible says, be quick to hear, slow to speak. And we got to go to that time of being quick to hear now. We're so quick to speak, but we but we don't want to listen. So it's that time we need to be quick to hear and slow to speak. And I agree, 'cause you gain more by listening. And we got to get ready to close of the broadcast. But my last question, Ms. Richardson, I ask this to all my interview that has to be on the show all the time. And, Proverbs speaks about a good name. It said a good name is better than riches, and love and favor is better than riches. I'm paraphrasing this, but the most thing it basically lets me know it's all about a good name. At the end of the day, what will you want your legacy to be when they hear your name?
When people hear my name, first of all, I want people to remember me as a God-fearing woman. And I think if they remember me as a God-fearing woman, everything else will fall into place as far as compassion, the love for the people, the love that I have for my family, my friends. So I just want my work to speak for me. I don't want to have to convince no one of who I am, but definitely see the work that I do and allow that to speak for me. And just knowing that, I seek God for understanding in all that I do. And I just pray and hope that my ways and my thoughts and, my mind just continually to be pleasing to Him. And I think that alone will just set my legacy forth for my kids, my family, someone, to look at me and say that, I was a very honorable person. And with that, I think that's just the perfect legacy for me to leave or someone to look at me as.
Yes, ma'am. And that's beautiful. And do you have any final remarks for the listeners this morning?
Well, I would like to put out, our information for the city of Prichard if there are listeners in the city of Prichard, or if there's anyone that may have resources that they would think that would be very valuable to the city. They can reach out to me by email, richardson36@gmail.com, as well as 251-457-2316, and that is our council office. And please feel free to leave any information that you may have, and I'll be sure to get back with you in a timely manner. And I just want to tell everybody to continue to reach for the stars, continue to be encouraged. No barrier is not too high that you can't get over, or sometimes you have to get under. But always acknowledge God, and in all that you do, and He will definitely make a way for you.
Awesome. And somebody, matter of fact, I had someone inbox me on yesterday. They have their own landscaping business. They've been trying to get in touch with someone in Prichard to do business in Prichard. So they asked me after the show that possibly get in contact with them with their business.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I can definitely point them in the right direction. Like I said, if it's anyone else out there, they can reach out to you or myself as well, and I know that you will definitely forward the information and we can get started.
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, they asked me that question on yesterday, so I'm just letting you know. Yes, ma'am. So I will, forward the information to them where they better get in contact with you and take it to that next level.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I know we're about to get ready to close out the broadcast. I thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Tuning in live. Also, better tune into the replay as well. Hope what was said this morning was delightful, impactful for you, that you better to take what was said today, take it in stride, apply it, and let's help each other. Let's really help each other. It's going to take a group of us to really make an impact in our generation, not just one, but it takes an impact, a big impact to help each other. And Ms. Richardson, I thank you for taking time out once again on your busy schedule to be a part, hang out with me on Impact Voice, and you be a guest anytime on Impact Voice.
Yes, it was definitely a pleasure, and thank you so much, and thank you, to all your listeners that are listening, and I pray that I've said something to encourage them as well. So thank you for even listening to me, because it was definitely a pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. I do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I say yes, ma'am, all the time. That's how I was raised. I always say yes, ma'am. And which you don't really hear that no more. Yes, ma'am. We don't really hear that no more
Right.
Because
you're right.
they either yay, yeah, no. But
or you may get a
Yeah, because when I'm 37, I'll be 38 in April. And if I say yeah, I say yeah. My mom probably stay there and say, "What'd you say?" Yes, ma'am. So I mean,
right.
I still say that to this day. But we about to get a clog out here this morning. I want everybody to have a great Saturday. I want everybody to be a light wherever you go at today. Make an impact on someone's life. Educate yourself. Man, be right. The internet has a lot of wealth of knowledge, of course. So take time out, educate yourself, read books, go to the library, do some research. It's so much stuff out there we can do. Focus on the positive, not on the negative, and enjoy today. Love somebody today, because tomorrow's not promised. The Bible lets us know we just like a vapor. So love somebody today. Forgive somebody, work things out, reach your goals, reach your dreams. And I'll see you next. Well, I won't be on the broadcast next week, but week after next, I'll be back on the broadcast of Impact Voice. I want everybody to have a great Saturday. I'll see you next time. Peace.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr.